Hey guys, it's Damaged Soul back at you with another video. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to create your very own custom webcam overlay. And in the next video, this is going to be a two-part video. In the first part, I'm going to be showing you how to create the webcam overlay. And in the second video, I'm going to be showing you how to animate it and give it some cool effects. Also, I'm going to be making a series that all these videos are going to be a series leading up to showing people how to create everything to do with starting your own stream. The animation for the starting soon page, the webcam overlays, the alerts, the transitions, everything to do with OBS and setting up a stream. Even if it doesn't have to do with OBS, you can use all these things with whatever streaming platform you're using. I'm going to be showing it on OBS though, just because most people use that. But yeah, it's going to be a good series. I suggest you subscribe if you ain't already subscribed, because it's going to be something that is going to show you guys a lot of stuff, to show you guys basically how to start up your own streams without having to fork out a lot of money to graphic designers and this and that. Why do that if you can do things on your own, be creative, and give it your own little flair, right? It's always better when you know that you created something on your own. At least I feel that way anyway, and I'm sure if you're already here watching this video, you feel the same way as well. So let's get into today's video. I'll be dropping these videos fairly quickly. I'll probably drop these next 10 videos probably within the next 2-3 days. And I'll put them in a playlist so that way you can just watch one from another. And once all the videos are made, I'll do a video on OBS directly showing you how to make your own scene for each entire animation that we make here in every video, how to import everything into OBS, set up the transition, set up the alerts, set up everything. I'll be showing everything to do with streaming in this series. So now that I'm done rambling and repeating myself and everything like that, let's get into today's video on creating your very own custom webcam overlay. So to start out, you're going to want to open up Photoshop, and you're going to want to use a file the same that I use here, of a document size of 1920 by 1080. You'll see that here. I also use a resolution of 300, and I have my orientation like that. And I'm using only an 8-bit, and hit create. Once you have that created, you're going to want to, I'll put this project file down in the link below. 1 second here, so that way you guys understand what I'm trying to say here. Where is this? Right here. Okay, so this is the one that I created that I'm going to show you guys how to make from scratch today. I'll put it down in the link below so you guys can use it as a template too, like I'm going to show you guys how to make it. And what else? Also, if this video hits 100 likes, I will put the actual webcam overlay where you can fully customize it to where you can just download the file and put your own name in on the webcam overlay, and you don't got to make a thing if you would prefer to do that. But this video needs to hit 100 likes. It isn't a lot of likes, so if we can smash 100 likes, that'd be great, and I'll put the project file in the description below. But for now, let's get into making this on our own and learning how to do all these things on our own, right? All right, so I'll put this file we don't need any likes to have this reference image. I'll have that down in the description already to download. Right now, you guys can go down there and download it. So make sure you download that. Once it's downloaded, open up your document size, the same that I showed you at the beginning, and then you're going to want to go to File, Place Embedded, and you can just pick the file from wherever you saved it from on your computer, and it'll import it like you see me have it exactly like it is on my computer screen. Once you have that, you're going to create a new layer, and you're going to just I always like to label everything, just so it makes it easier for me down the line, especially when it comes to animating it in After Effects afterwards. If it's labeled, it just makes your life a whole lot easier instead of trying to figure out what's what, right? So just always be nice and neat and figure stuff out, right? All right, so we got our reference, our background. Now here's our first layer. Now for our first layer, we're going to want to make just this box right here. Not the bottom part, just the the rectangular box, okay? Now, this is obviously too big for a webcam, because if you're streaming on a 19 by 1080 screen, right, this would be how big your webcam would be right now. So obviously we don't want it that big. So before we do anything, let's go back to our reference layer here. And we're going to hit Control-T, and I'm just going to shrink it down to about the size that I think would look good on my page. So picture this being your stream, this white background here, and how big do you want your webcam document or your webcam overlay to be? So I'm going to say I want mine to roughly be, I don't know, even smaller than this a little bit. I'd say roughly about that size. Not much smaller than that. That's pretty good, actually. Yeah, I'm good with that, right? All right, so we got that. And you can always change the size. You don't have to be the same size as me. You can even do it in a little bit bigger than this and shrink it down, but I wouldn't suggest doing it the full size like we had it at the very beginning. Shrink it down for the most part, because if you do it that big and have to shrink it down, it might get a little pixelated since we're doing this in Photoshop and not Illustrator. So shrink it down to roughly about the size that you want to do it, even a little bit bigger. And once you're done that, hit the check mark, so that way it's that size. I'm just going to bring it to the center of the page, just cause. What the hell is going on here? Where's the center of this page? Come on. Come on. Alright, screw it. Alright, so that's the center of the page. I don't give a crap. Alright, so we're going to zoom in and see how it gets a little pixelated when you shrink it down. So if you see how it was that big to begin with, and then when we shrink it down, it got pixelated, right? So if you already make it this small, it won't get pixelated. You know what I'm saying? All right, so click on the layer 1 that we haven't done anything on, and you're going to want to grab your pen tool. You're going to want to make sure that your path is selected up here, and we are going to start out by, actually, you know what? Sorry, guys. Sorry. Go up here into your move tool or hit V on the keyboard, and we are going to grab our ruler. We're going to put a center mark right in the very center of our, oh shit, that isn't the center. Right in the very center of our overlay here. Yeah, that's all we need is just this one ruler in here for now. All right, now go back to your pen tool. Sorry, guys. And we are going to start on the bottom. So let's zoom into the bottom here. And I am going to put my first, oh wait, I don't like that. That's too high. I'm going to put my first one there. And I'm going to come up to here, and you're going to hold shift in between clicks, so that way it gives you that perfect straight line. Because if you don't hold shift, see how it looks all jaggedy, and it just doesn't give you a nice straight line? You don't want that. So make sure you're holding shift and copy. You can do the exact same outline like I'm doing, or you can be creative and make your own right off the hop. It's up to you. You don't have to copy the exact design that I'm doing. I'm just going to give you the way to make it and all the cool little ideas. You know what I'm saying? So once you got that, you're going to just follow this outline like you see me doing here, or the outline that you're choosing to do for yours. But I would suggest doing it the exact same way that I'm going to do it. And you'll know what I mean by that in a second, because I'm only going to make half of it and then duplicate it and then just flip it horizontally just to make a full one and then merge the layers instead of trying to do the whole thing. It just makes it a hell of a lot easier. So come here, come here. Come here. Alright guys, so that turned out really cool, eh? You liked it? Alright, so now that you see how I have this fully, the half outlined, right? You're going to want to right click, and you're going to want to go to Fill Path, okay? Once you hit Fill Path, you're going to want to hit Color here, and you're going to be able to select a color. Now when I start off, you can pick this color. You have your little eyedropper here. So go over to here, tap the same color that I have in the box, and hit OK. Hit OK, and that'll fill in your box. Okay, then you want to hit right click again and hit Delete Path. So now what that left us with is this outline. And that looks pretty cool, right? Alright, so now that we got that, we're going to grab this layer, and we're going to hit Control J, and then you're going to hit Control T. You're going to right click, and you're going to hit flip horizontally. Then you're going to grab it by right clicking and holding Shift and dragging it over till it matches in the center. Hit the check mark, and then you can hit Control H at any time to hide the ruler. See? Because then we wouldn't have known right there that it was off. So you can just tap it and hit 2 times on your arrow keys on the keyboard just to bring it over a tad, instead of trying to do it with your mouse and overshooting it. Alright, so now we got our box layer, our outline done, right? Well, for just the part where our webcam is going to be in anyway. So you can grab these 2 layers that we made, and you're going to right click, and you're going to go up to, where is it here? No, merge layers. You're going to go to merge layers, and then we're going to label this Webcam Overlay Box, just so I can remember what this is. Okay, so now we can turn back on our reference image, and now we are going to, one second here, what is our next step going to be? We are going to create, you can turn off our webcam overlay box actually now, so you can see the reference image again, and we're going to create a new layer. Now that we have our new layer created, we're going to come in and we're going to create this box here. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to go back to your pen tool again. You're going to grab your pen tool, and you're going to make this layer. Now I'm going to make this one a little bit bigger, because I know last time I had a hard time fitting my big name in there, because it is fairly big. And if you want to say how you have your point there and you want this point to match on this side, you can come up to the ruler bar at any time, just grab it and put it in the center of your square there. That way when you come over to here and hold Shift and click, it should bring it up perfectly to your ruler mark. See how that worked? Worked perfect, right? Whereas before it was coming up short. I don't know why it does that, but it just does. Alright, so there we go. There we go. Come over to here. Come over to here. And then come over to here. Perfect. Hit Control H. Oh, wait. Nope. Don't hit Control H yet. Right click. Hit Fill Path. And then you're going to want to use your eyedropper here just to grab another color. And hit OK. Alright, now you can hit Control H. And then you can turn back on your bottom layer. Oh, they're the same color. So what we need to do here to fix that is we need to darken this up. Right? So that way we can actually see it. A minute here. Let me make the background completely black. So that way, whoa, can't see anything. Oh no, never mind. That wasn't our background layer. No wonder. Jeez, I'm wondering what the hell happened. Okay, there we go. Alright, so now we can see our webcam. Roughly, our rough idea. Make sure your background's black so that way you can just see better. Make sure you label it. I'm a big person on that. Alright, so now we got that going here. Let's turn back on this thing and turn off this. We're also going to name this our name box. Okay. Now that we got that done, you're going to uncheck these eyes, and we're going to make this triangle right here. Okay. Actually, you know what? We're not going to make the triangle. We'll make this box first. So, let's do that. So, come back up to your pen tool. You're going to want to make sure you're up here. And now, grab your ruler again. Just give yourself some guidelines, because if you don't have them, it makes it really hard to line up exactly where you clicked. You know what I mean? And you want this to look professional. You don't want it to look like crap. So if you take your time and you do these little things, it makes a hell of a difference in the end. Trust me. So, and you don't need to make the full thing if you don't want to. You can just do the same thing we did the last time. Come right here to the center. Where am I here? I can't even see. Come up a little bit higher than our mark. Here. Alright, yeah, I like that. That's fine. Oh, no, see, I messed up. There, you want to come up to here. So always make sure you're paying attention. Even if you ain't, you can always hit Control Z, our best friend. Then once you got that, you're going to right click. You're going to go to Fill Path. Why isn't that working for me? Oh, you know why? Create the new layer. I'm on the name box layer trying to do it. So create a new layer here. Sorry guys, I totally forgot that. Sometimes I get ahead of myself. Create a new layer, hit Fill Path, select this color. Actually, 1 minute. Go to color, select it, hit OK, hit OK. Alright, so now you're going to grab this and you're going to drag it down underneath the webcam overlay box. And we're going to zoom back out. Hit Control H just to back out so we can see. Let's see what that looks like there. I don't like the way that turned out. Alright, so you're going to create a new layer, and then you're going to come up here. Oh shit, didn't mean to do that. Sorry guys. You're going to create a new layer. Grab your ruler tool. Don't be afraid to pull down rulers so that way you can match up the distance. It makes a hell of a difference in the end when you can see that everything is the same depth and width and height and all that crap. You know what I mean? You don't want it all to be just off a little bit. It really stands out in the end if you are off like that. You know what I mean? So you want to try your best to make sure that you get it done properly. Right? So 1 minute now. I just want to make sure I put a ruler here at this mark. So we want to go the same height as we did there. And this, you can honestly, since we already have that made, you know what? It would probably be better to just actually do it. So 1 minute. Follow the exact same type of path here that you see. And unless you're creating your own design, then you don't need to create this exact same path that I'm doing. But hit Fill Path, hit OK, and then hit Control H. Now we should have our bottom to it, and that looks good. So now if we turn off our reference, we're left with this. So this is really our whole entire webcam box. And how long did that take? Not long, probably like 10-15 minutes, right? And that's with me trying to show you guys and talk and this and that. Whereas if I was on my own, I'd be going maybe a little bit faster. All right. So now that you have the basic outline, you're going to want to name this. This is going to be our alert boxes. Our alert box. Because that's going to tell our recent donation on this side and our recent sub on this side, or your top donator. You can make it anything, whatever symbol you want to throw there. Like instead of the two symbols I put, whereas I have the new sub and the donation, you could put whatever symbol you want, right? I will include these symbols for you guys. All right, so now that we got that, we're going to make another new layer, and we're going to bring our alert box below our webcam overlay, just so it's underneath. Go back up to your new layer, and we're going to make this diamond here now, okay? So let's zoom in, and you're going to want to select right here, Come down to here, select down there. Grab your ruler tool again. Make sure that it's dead on. And we're going to hit fill path. I'm going to make it orange for now. Oh, no. I don't know why it didn't go to orange. There we go. Fill it completely orange. Hit Control H to hide it. Now there's our triangle. Well, our diamond. We haven't added the effects yet to it. We're going to write diamond. And by keeping these all on separate layers, it allows us in After Effects to animate them separately and make them all do different things, right? As you'll see later on in the next video. This one, I got to keep it short. If I were to do them both in one video, this will be a 2-hour long video. Alright, so there we go. Now that we got that, you can even, what's our next step here? Let's turn off these layers here. We want to make our 2 boxes. This is our next step, is making this box. Okay, so you really only need to make one because you can duplicate it, right? So we're going to start here, put our mark, come up here. Now I don't want it to go up as high as I did last time. See how it's a little tight right there? So I'm going to make sure it's a little bit shorter on this end this time. And then this one I don't mind coming up high on. No, I want that a little bit better. Nope. There we go. Now see right here is where you're going to want to bring down your ruler tool and line that up. The ruler tool really comes in handy. It's unbelievable. Then we're going to hit fill path, go up to your color again, select the color, hit OK, and then hit OK. You turn on your other layers now, hit Control H, and now you can see. Now 1 minute. Now you'll see how we got a little gap right there. So if you come back down to your alert box and hit V on the keyboard and just hit up once on the arrow key, you'll fix that little issue, that little gap. You don't want to have that gap, right? Alright, so now that we got our box done right here, we're going to hit Control J to duplicate it. And then we're going to hit Control T. You're going to right click, flip horizontally, and do the same thing. Right click and hold Shift and drag over to the other side until it roughly looks about the same as your other side does. Hit the check mark. And you can always use the arrow keys on the keyboard to just adjust it. You can move it a little bit easier that way. I think that looks pretty damn close. So there's our alert. So actually, you know what? How I name this alert box, I'm going to rename this to alert overlay box. Overlay box. And then my left side, what's my left right here? Okay, we're going to name this our recent sub box. And then this is our right one. Yep. And we're going to name this recent donation box. That way we know exactly what's what, right? Okay. So there we go. Now we got all that labeled. What's left on this thing here to do? We can even add our text into this little area here. So 1 second. You can grab your text tool. You're going to want to make sure your low text, like a small one. Damaged soul. Go up here to your character. I'm going to drag this down, drag this in, and make this 6. depending on the size of your name, right? Mine's a big name, so it makes it a little bit more of a pain in the ass for me to have to do it. I don't really like the way that looks, to tell you the truth. It still looks so crappy because it's so small. You know what? We're going to fix that later on. Because in my reference, it didn't look that bad. Huh. We'll have to fix that. But either way, we can still get back to making our webcam. It's because it's such a small little picture, you know what I mean, that everything's so small. And we're zoomed into it like a motherfucker, right? So, alright, so now that we got that, that's everything. Now we can go on to making it somewhat come more a little bit of life. So we're going to grab our webcam overlay box, and this is where you can add some little adjustments. So we're going to come over here to our webcam overlay box, and we are going to go to your blending, your layers. What's it called here? I can't even remember. Your blending options, sorry. Going to go to your blending options, and we are going to put what? We're going to put a little stroke around it at 2. No, you know what? 2's too much. 1's good. Go to 1, and you're going to make sure the position's on the outside. Then you can also come to bevel. Turn down the opacity just a bit. You don't want it to be that harsh white, but you still want it to give it that bevel effect, right? Just to make it look more 3D. So that looks good there to me. I'm good with that. And at this point, you can change the color of the actual webcam overlay if you wanted to. You could go in here and pick any color you wanted to if you didn't want to use the same color. But that looks cool actually, purple like that. Really does, and I'm not even a fan of the color purple. That looks pretty cool. Alright, so now that you got that, that's just our little bit of effects added to it just for now. We are going to add more in a little bit, but let's just leave that for now. Come up to your name box, go to your blending options. You're going to do the same thing. You're going to hit the bevel and emboss button there. You're going to go to your no, not to stroke. What is going on there? Alright, so I'm good with that. We're going to turn down the opacity here. There you go. Turn down the opacity just a bit. You just want it to make that box stand out opposed to looking so flat, you know what I mean? So there we go. Now that made that stand out better. That's for damn sure. You're going to close that. Now we're going to go to our diamond. You're going to grab your diamond, and like I said, you can make this any color too. You can make it purple, you can keep it the same color I'm doing, whatever you want to do, right? So you're going to come up to your bevel, and instead of minute here. I want to find a good color. So then I'll select that for now. Come back up to your bevel. One minute. How did I make the one look in the reference? I can't even remember now. Ah, I see. It's like a little triangle to it. Okay. That's what we did right here. So you got your size, and the depth wasn't a lot. That's how I did it, right there. So you can copy those exact settings if you want. There we go. I'm good with that. Copy those exact settings for that, just to get that to look like that. Then you can make your diamond color any color you want. That's the point I wanted to get to. See, sometimes it's just a little bit of messing around with settings and to get to what exactly you want it to look like. You know what I mean? And then once you get it, then you're good and you're happy, right? That actually looks cool too. Alright, do I like that? I don't know if I really like that, to tell you the truth. So many different colors to choose from. That's the one thing about having so many swatches. It's like, oh, well, this one looks cool. Oh, well, that one looks neat. Oh, well, I like this one too. Oh, shit. You'll be there for like 10, 15 minutes every time it comes to selecting a color. Alright, you know what? I'm going with this one just for now. This is just a tutorial. Alright, so I'm good with that. That looks cool. Alright, so like even just adding these effects have made just such a difference already. You know what I mean? And I'm still not done actually with the effects on the diamond. We are going to add a stroke around it, just leaving it at 1, and a drop shadow. So bring up the opacity, bring out the distance a bit. Make sure you're on normal. I don't know why it was on screen. There we go. I'm good with that. That looks cool. Alright, so now, what else is there here? We want to come to our alert overlay box, do the same thing. We're going to come up here to our bevel, and we're going to go down to our depth. Alright, bring your depth down, just like how I'm doing here. That's why my boxes looked too small afterwards, because I did this and then it makes them look smaller. I see. So we got that. I'm good with this for now. I'm going to hit OK. And then we're going to come up to our recent sub box, and I'm going to see if that makes it smaller again for me. Oh, that looks cool. It makes it look like it's indented. I feel like I might like that, actually. Yep, I'm going to go with that. I think that looks sick. Well, it looks indented instead of risen out. I think that looks way better. So this is what it'll look like on stream with your full screen. It looks detailed when you're actually looking at the full screen and you're not zoomed into it. It looks really cool. Alright, so now instead of having to do this exact same settings to this side, you can just right click, copy layer style, right click, paste layer style. Bam, done. Okay, so now that we got that, I'm going to zoom in though. I want to hit Control T, and I just want to shrink this just a bit. Oh no, I didn't want to do that. Actually, you know what? No, I'm going to leave it the way it is. It looks good. Yeah, that looks cool. I'm good with that. Alright, so we got everything done the way I would like it so far. Now, I want to go around here. What's our next thing to make? Got to do all our lights. Alright, so now let's do that. We're going to hit create new layer. You're going to go to a new layer here, and we're going to create all our lights. So to do that, you're going to want to make sure your webcam box is on and your alert box. And wherever you see lights sticking out is where I'm going to get you to do the same thing. So we're going to grab your pen tool, and we're going to just come in here. You're going to hold shift, hit fill path, come to color, and this is another thing that you can do. You don't have to choose the same exact color that I'm choosing. You can choose a totally separate color. Whatever color you want to use, pick. It don't matter to me. I'm going to use orange, and also bring this layer below everything, because you want it to just stick outside the box or below the layer, right? It's like how we have it here. Do the same thing for every single spot that you see, or any spot that you would actually like to add light to. It doesn't have to be where I did it. It can be wherever you want. Be totally creative. Do whatever you think would look cool. Just copy the ideas and the method to do it. You know what I mean? That's all. And once you have all your colors done, which I will in a minute, I'll show you what we're going to do after that. And always make sure you're deleting the path before you move on to the next light, or else it'll just be a pain in the ass. And this, it doesn't really matter so much if you can hold shift and you can do the perfect lines, do it. But if you can't, oh well, right? It's not the end of the world. It's only a little light that's going to have some glowing coming off of it anyway. So it's you're not going to see those pixelated edges like you would if we were doing it on the frame. It's a little bit different when you're doing the frame of the overlay opposed to a little light that's hidden behind it. Like, see how hard it was for me just to get that proper shift there? And if I didn't, see, look at, I do it that way, bam, it's done, right? Obviously, I don't like the way, though, that turned out. I want it to be a little more straighter. There we go. But yeah, this will be a cool series for everybody to see how to make your own whole streaming setup, right? I really think I enjoyed doing it for myself and making my own. So I'm sure a lot of other people will too, especially when you can get creative and make your own alerts and make your own advertisement pages and your merch pages, and you can do so many things. It's unbelievable to make your streams look professional. It's crazy. A lot of lights. Jeez. And if it's up just a little bit or down to a little bit, just do what I just did. Hit V on the keyboard quick and then move back to your pen tool. And there we go. There's all these done. And remember, before you do anything, make sure to label it. That way, you don't need to worry about labeling it later, right? And now that all these lights are on the exact same layer, it allows us to be able to control all of them at the same time. So you could have all these lights, you know what I mean? Turning separate colors, like, you know what I mean, going RGB style basically from orange. All you'd have to do is keyframe it in After Effects. I'll show you how to do that in a little bit. You know what? 1 second here. Now see how that this one isn't standing out as much as the rest? You can always just come in, add another little section. That way they all look the same. You don't want it to look crappy, you know what I mean? Alright, so there we go. So that's how we got her. That looks good. Now this one down here doesn't look that good. I didn't see that one. I see. I see. Alright, so there we go. Now we got all our lights done around the edges that I wanted to add. And like I said, later on you can keyframe them to do all different colors. The same thing with the diamond. You could go do so many different things. It's unbelievable, right? It's endless, really. As creative as you want to get is as creative as you can be, basically. So now what we're going to do for these orange lights is we're going to come up to the blending option. What happens if you add a bevel and an emboss to them? Does that make them look any cooler? Yeah, it looks cool. Then you're going to add another outer glow. And select the color that you're using. You can pick how much they glow. I'm good with just that right there. That's good enough settings for me. You can throw a stroke around them to make them look even more like lights. You know what? I'm going to take the stroke off. Alright, so there we go. That looks cool. Got our lights set up. Alright, so now what I want to do is I want to add... We got to add our writing in here, but my name is so big. I hate how I can't do that. Like, it's stupid. Like, look how pixelated it gets. That's the only thing I hate about Photoshop. So you know what? I know a way that we can fix that. We're going to have to write our name out in Illustrator to make sure it's not pixelated, bring it into here, and then we can shrink it down to any size we want. That's the only way to do it, and it's still to look professional and not look all crappy like that. Because our webcam doesn't look all crappy like that, but the writing does, and we can't have that, right? Definitely not. So now we can turn off this, just so I can see my original. I want to see what else I have added. We'll add the two signs in a sec. We're going to come in and add these orange ones up here. So come back, turn on all your stuff, turn off the reference. Now, the way I did that black line, I just added a new layer. And that's how I did the black line in the last one. And then I hit Control T, and then I just shrank it. Oh, 1 minute. If you hold Shift, you can just mess with the width. Just to give me that thin black line to make it look separated, because once you back up, it does make it look separated, right? And then after I did that, I came in and I added my lights. So I'm just going to make this a separation bar. And I'll add my lights to another layer. Nothing wrong with having a bunch of layers. As long as they're all named, that's all that matters, right? So I'm trying to think if I should go up top. You know what? No, we're just going to stick down below. So I'm going to come to here and to here. Always add your rulers just to make life a hell of a lot easier. Or else you get shit like this happening and then you want to fucking lose it. Fill path. And this is where you're going to pick whatever color you want it to light up. I'm going to pick orange since mine's all orange. I know it looks weird right there, but do not worry about it. Hit Control, delete path. And we're going to hit Control J twice, just to duplicate it twice, okay? And you're going to drag one over to here, and you're going to drag another one over to here. Hit Control J one more time, and drag it over to there. Now they all got the same separation, right? And if you hit Control H, merge all these together, and bring it under the separation bar. Now you'll notice you got your lights, your 4 little lights there, right? Now you can come into your blending options, add a stroke around them if you wanted to, which I don't think I'm gonna. I will add a little drop shadow to them and an outer glow, just to give that little light effect up there as well. It looks cool. And then now you're going to hit Control J on all the layers being merged, and all you're going to do is you're going to grab it, hold shit. With that layer selected, we're going to move it over, hit Control T, zoom in, right click, flip horizontal, perfect. Move it near the same spot that it was at on the last one, on the other side, and then zoom back out. And that gives you your 4 little lights on each side, right? Now I know it's just a little thing, and it's like, oh wow, all that work just for that, but it just made a pretty big difference, right? Like, I think it did anyway. Now you can grab these 2 layers, you can merge them, and you can relay them top lights. Like, let's see the difference from that to that. I think that makes a big difference. Alright, so now that we got that, that looks pretty good. I'm going to want to open up one of my files here. Give me a second here, just so I can get our symbols for our donator and our recent sub. I have a graphics pack here. And these symbols you can get from Google, or I can also put the symbols in the description down below, along with the template file that you guys got or were able to download. I will put all the different symbols that I use, all these different ones here. Okay. So all these symbols right here, I will add below. You got your money, you got your recent sub, you got actually really those are the only ones that you could want to use out of these. So really they're pointless to add them to the description down below. I'll add the 2 that I'm using though in the description down below. So we are going to have our recent sub on the left. Hit Control T, shrink her down. Put her into place. Hit Control T. Use the arrow keys on the keyboard to move it around to the position that you actually want. There we go. It's already labeled for me. So then I'm going to go up to my blending options, and I'm going to throw a drop shadow on it. We're going to bevel it. But we are also going to add our gradient to it. Now the bevel though, I don't want it to be looking like that. I like it like that. That looks cool. What does it look like with a stroke around it? Perfect. There we go. I'm good with that. That looks good. So that's what it'll look like to people that are looking at it. I think that looks amazing. Add your money sign to the other side. Hit Control T. Shrink her down. You want it to roughly be the same size. And then we're just going to right click here, hit copy layer style, right click, paste layer style, and then move it around with your keyboard with the arrow keys and get it in position. That makes no sense. I'm just going to do damaged in there just for the tutorial's sake. Alright, so we got our name in there. You'll have to mess around with the name a little bit. I don't know why it looks like that. That's the only thing that I don't like. But I'm sure you guys will be able to figure it out. It's not that big of a deal. Okay, so now that we got that, what else here? Now we want to add our corner pieces in, like I have on my original. Just make sure that you have everything labeled out here like you see in mine. Now we can turn off all our layers, and we're going to turn on our reference layer, and we're just going to make these corner pieces. Oh, actually, one more thing I want to add is these two light bars here, so give me one sec. We're going to zoom in, grab your pen tool, come up to the top, create a new layer. Now you got your pen tool selected. Make sure you have it as the color you want. Now hit Control T. That's a little too thick. There we go, that looks better. Hit Control J to duplicate it. And then all you want to do, make sure you're on the move tool, V on the keyboard. Move it over to the other side to match. Then we are going to merge. Do they look, yeah, they look roughly in the same spot. Yep. And we're going to merge the layers. And then you're going to add blending option here. You can add a little drop shadow if you would like. I don't know why that's going out so far. Okay, so screw the drop shadow, but we do need to add a outer glow to it. There we go. Outer glow is good. I'm good with that. Good with that. Okay, cool. Good with me. Alright, so now it's just to create those corner bars, and then we have our whole webcam overlay created, and then it's time for our second video to animate it. So give me one second here. Let's just make our corners. Let's turn on our reference again. All you have to do is make one, and then you can duplicate it, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to come into here, hold shift to make your straight lines. You want to be holding shift. And make sure you connect them. Fill. Oh, wait, sorry. We got to create a new layer. Create a new layer before you do this. Hit OK. Nope, we do not want to fill it orange. Fill path. Go to color. You want to fill it a grayish color. Hit OK. Good with me. Right click. Delete path. Okay. So now we are going to name this name lights. That was the name lights. What is going on here? Why is... Oh, okay, that's because the original's on right now. I see. Okay. So the name lights are these orange bars here, just so you know. Alright, so now that we got that, we can turn this box off, and we're going to create another new layer. And we're going to make these black boxes here. Make sure your pen tool is selected. And the same thing, you only need to make one of these, and you can duplicate it, right? That's the best part about these programs. It's not like you got to make 10 different things. You can just duplicate stuff that you've already done, right? Hit V on your keyboard, Control T. Oh, no, never mind. We don't need to do that. So now that we have that, you're going to want to hit Control J to duplicate it twice. Then you're just going to move them to match the picture. Just like that, right? That looks cool. Now we can grab those three, merge them, because they're the black holes, right? And then we can hit Control J to duplicate it again, and drag this one over here, hit Control T, rotate it so it's straight. Hold Shift when you're rotating it, and it'll lock it into place. Right click, flip horizontally, and hit the check mark. And now we got that on that side. If we turn on our gray bar, now we got both of them made and done, right? So that looks cool. Now we haven't added any effects yet to it, right? So just give me a second. So now we're going to, these are those holes, we're going to hit our blending option here. And if you go to bevel, there we go. Move the angle around so that way you can see it. There we go, that looks cool. Okay. Hit OK. And then you're going to want to do the same thing with this side, blending options. Go to bevel. And you want it to be on the bottom on that side. So that looks cool to me. Then you're going to come over here to your gray background, and we are going to add a bevel to that. Actually, you know what? 1 minute. Cancel out the bevel for a second. Come over here to your gradient. And this is where we're going to mess around with the color of the corners. And you don't have to pick the same color as me. Same way through we've done this whole thing. You can customize it, change your own colors, do whatever you want. I'm just going to make mine this color, this certain type of gray, I guess. Trying to find what I like. Got a stroke around it, but I don't want the stroke to be that. One looks good. Can add our drop shadow in. That looks good. Now the only thing is this bevel. I think that looks better. And then all I did was I came in, grabbed my pen tool, came up top, made one more new layer, selected right here, came down to this corner, came down to that corner, made a weird little color or corner like that. Hit OK, deleted the path, and then bam, I was left with my corner. Then you can turn off your reference. And now that you're left with your corner piece, which looks pretty cool, right? Now you can turn on everything else. Turn off the reference. And then now you're going to come up here, you're going to grab all the layers that we just made, and you're going to merge them. And you're going to name this corner piece. Okay? Now you, with the move tool, can move it around. You can resize it if you have to. And then you're left with this cool webcam overlay. And that's how you do it. But obviously you're going to want to duplicate this 3 more times. And you're going to want to bring it to each corner. Hit Control T, rotate it while holding Shift, move it into the corner. There you go. Bring this one up to the top. Do the same thing, Control T, hold Shift, rotate it. Bring it down to fit in position. And then do the same thing over here. Control T, rotate it until it fits in position. And then move it until it fits in position. And then bam. Now you're done all your pieces for this whole entire webcam overlay. Once you're done that, you can turn off your background, and as you can see, you'd be able to see your webcam video right here if you had it placed in there, right? So that'd be alright, and your gameplay would be everything behind it. So now that you have that done, you're going to want to go up to File, you're going to hit Save As, or no, yeah, you're going to hit Save As, and you are going to go to your desktop, and you're going to save it as Webcam Overlay, a PSD file. Once you've done that, you're going to hit Save. I'm not going to save it because I already have one made. Once you're done, you hit Save, and it's saved to your desktop. You're going to want to move on to my second video, which will be down in the description as well. And now we're going to animate it. Other than that, guys, that's it for today's tutorial. I hope you guys had a good day, and I hope you guys learned something as well. Other than that, stay creative and have a good day. Peace.